Hello and welcome to Home Funders, the simple, fair and equitable startup business with the goal of matching aspiring first-time home buyers with willing crowdfunding contributors so that their first-time buyer can buy their first home. Now, the core concept for Home Funders is that first-time buyers work in the usual way with mortgage industry professionals to find their primary mortgage lender. The first-time buyers' issues still remain the same in terms of have they sufficient deposit and can they afford the repayments. This is where Home Funders comes in, because Home Funders is offering first-time buyers with a 5% minimum deposit, a further 20% deposit in exchange for 20% equity stake in the property, plus some monthly interest payments on the loan. Typically, first-time buyers' monthly repayments with Home Funders are less than those repayments for a 95% mortgage from a primary mortgage lender. Home Funders raises its finance for the loan by using its crowdfunding platform to attract and service crowdfunding contributors. These crowdfunding contributors could be a combination of the first-time buyer's family, friends, or social media contacts, as well as any of the institutional investors that may have a particular interest in this market. Home Funders would also be providing a loan note trading market to enable crowdfunding contributors to achieve some liquidity, and also for first-time buyers to be able to buy back some of their loan when they are ready. And finally, of course, all of this will be overseen by the appropriate FCA regulations as they apply to the various areas of the Home Funders concept. So far, we've been going along nicely, getting the backing of industry experts, mortgage lenders and mortgage brokers. All agree that Home Funders offer an innovative solution for a very old problem. However, we ran into a barrier when it came to raising the finance to start the business. The two most significant issues being the uncertainty that crowdfunders will provide sufficient solid contributions for all the opportunities that first-time buyers will bring, and that the Home Funders founders themselves are from outside the industry. That said, we believe we have identified an alternative funding model and way of operating Home Funders that will enable us to overcome these obstacles and move Home Funders forward relatively quickly. The alternative source of funding we've identified is that provided by the expanding financial world of cryptocurrencies. By taking advantage of the emerging funding instruments available in the evolving world of Bitcoin and Ethereum, we believe we could bring Home Funders to market by using a 21st century approach to solve our centuries-old problem. We're proposing that Home Funders issue and operate its own cryptocurrency, call it HF Coin, to raise the funds to start the business and to fund the loans for the first-time buyers. The key to success for raising finance in this new world of cryptocurrencies is to undertake an initial coin offering, or ICO, which we will explain in more depth shortly. Aligning Home Funders to the cryptocurrency market leaves the core concept intact while strengthening the prospect of funding the demand for first-time buyer loans. Firstly, first-time buyers in the mortgage industry wouldn't see or do anything different when setting up the mortgages. What is different is that Home Funders coin holders would be buying Home Funders coin based on the asset value of the entire Home Funders business and not on a per property basis. This allows the Home Funders coin holders to independently trade their Home Funders coin on the global cryptocurrency exchange market as and when they wish, and so providing them excellent liquidity. With this approach to the market, we believe that Home Funders will be able to provide an innovative 21st century solution to a centuries-old problem for first-time buyers. The cryptocurrency market opens up a significantly different way and opportunity to fund the start-up and operation of the Home Funders business. Whilst with the traditional funding options explored to date largely rely upon investors providing the funding needed to start the business in exchange for equity, The cryptocurrency approach means that equity in the business can be exchanged only for the funding needed to successfully complete an initial coin offering, or ICO, which typically needs an investment in the region of £35,000 to £45,000. It's worth pointing out at this stage that an initial coin offering follows a strictly defined process and takes 6 to 9 months to complete if successful. So let's take a closer look at what's actually involved for making an initial coin offering for funding a business startup such as home funders. The first step will be to work with an introducer to validate the viability of the home funders' proposition in the world of cryptocurrency. Once we're confident about the viability and probability of success of home funders in the cryptocurrency market, we'd then be able to move on and prepare a formal initial coin offer proposition for the market and publish that offer to the wider cryptocurrency community. Once we've answered all the questions that would undoubtedly arise from the investment community, we'd then be at a position where we can conclude the initial coin offer and determine how successful it has been in raising the funds that we were seeking. Assuming sufficient funds have been promised, we could then move on to establish the HF coin cryptocurrency, issue the coin, and convert it into the pound sterling needed to start the business. Of course, all of this would need to be done within the regulatory framework of both the traditional and the cryptocurrency regulators. As can be seen in the table, there are a number of readily identifiable issues for the actors or stakeholders involved in the new home funders proposition. Unsurprisingly, nearly all of these issues are cryptocurrency related, because it is, after all, a new and relatively unregulated alternative global financial ecosystem. That said, the issues are not particularly difficult to address technically, and home funders will use the relevant existing UK compliance best practice approaches to maintain appropriate UK regulatory standards for both consumers and investors. Now, looking at using HF coin in practice, there are just a couple of prerequisites to be considered. Firstly, all users or potential users of HF coin must have a cryptocurrency account with a cryptocurrency registered provider, such as Bitcoin or Ripple, for example, and that's to ensure that users have undertaken their own native central bank and cryptocurrency currency controls, as appropriate for their location. Secondly, each user would need to open their own Home Funders HF Coin account to be compliant with standard UK Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering checks as per the requirements of the appropriate UK regulatory authorities. Next, let's take a look at how somebody would buy Home Funders coin directly from Home Funders. As an example, let's say we have somebody who wants to buy N pounds of Home Funders coin from their own cryptocurrency account. Firstly, the coin purchaser would log on to the Home Funders online coin purchasing service. This service will be based on using the Ethereum smart contract service, and from the purposes of this example, we'll assume that the coin purchaser wants to buy his HF coin using his own Bitcoin currency account. Once the purchaser confirms his request for a specific amount of HF coin, the following transactions take place in real time. Firstly, the purchaser's requested sterling amount is converted to the equivalent Bitcoin and HF coin values at the prevailing exchange rates. The equivalent Bitcoin value is then transferred from the purchaser's account to the Home Funders Bitcoin account. The appropriate Bitcoin value is then converted to sterling at the prevailing exchange rate, and that sterling value is then transferred to the Home Funders sterling account. Finally, the appropriate HF coin value is transferred from Home Funders to the purchaser's HF coin account. From a coin purchaser's point of view, it all looks and feels very much the same as doing an online banking transaction does today. When it comes to selling home funders coin in practice, then things couldn't be much simpler. Firstly, a coin owner seeking to sell X amount of HF coins from their own account would simply log into their existing facility in the cryptocurrency trading market and trade the home funder's coin as he would trade any other currency in the cryptocurrency world. So why should home funders work in the world of cryptocurrency? Well, firstly, home funders' basic business concept has been recognised as being innovative and has already been welcomed in the industry. Cryptocurrency itself is a fast emerging alternative source of finance that's a new entrance in global currencies, is definitely in vogue, rapidly growing, and open to and encouraging new innovative applications and developments. It's also apparent that the cryptocurrency market is open and used to funding management teams, assets and working capital for pre-revenue startups, and in addition has a community geared to investing in pre-revenue startups and taking initiatives. Finally, and most importantly, home funders will be one of the very few to offer real-world physical asset-backed investment to the virtual world of the cryptocurrency zone, its investors and its currency holders. In summary, there are a number of significant changes that occur when we align home funders to the cryptocurrency market. Probably the most significant of these is the need to be able to successfully complete the ICO or initial coin offering process. Once successfully completed, the ICO process will have provided the funds to enable home funders to start up and launch the business. And once up and running, the HF coin will provide the mainstream funding for first-time buyers' equity loans. Unsurprisingly, operating a cryptocurrency requires a level of asset reserve to be available in the business, but it also provides us a currency trading market facility which gives us additional liquidity for any HF coin holders. Lastly, and very significantly, is the introduction of the HF coin holders. This group is critical to the success of home funders in acquiring the funds needed to operate via the cryptocurrency market. HF coin holders will be buying HF coin based on the risk-reward value of the total income of home funders, including the second mortgage income and the second charge asset values. They will also have no financial connection, risk or reward to any specific property funded. So, what do we think should happen next? First, we believe we need to confirm that home funders using cryptocurrency as a concept is worth pursuing, particularly bearing in mind that the specific ICO consultancy fees that will need to be raised are likely to be circa £35,000, and we need to have some degree of confidence that those funds will actually be available for use. Once we've confirmed that the concept is worth pursuing, then we need to consult with a specialist cryptocurrency organisation so that we can understand the following. Firstly, the eligibility and viability of the home funders model in the cryptocurrency zone. Secondly, we need to understand the chances of success for home funders in undertaking an initial coin offering, which is typically promoted as a 6-month project, and the fundraising for first-time buyer deposits. Finally, and very importantly, we'd look to understand the short, medium and long-term issues surrounding the global cryptocurrency market operating from the UK in terms of what we should know, what we don't currently know, and what we need to know in order for home funders to actually fulfil its potential. Thanks for listening, and we really are looking forward to hearing your views as soon as we can on this exciting new proposition for home funders.